Hey, folks, if you're just joining me, I'm Chuck Holton and I'm in Jerusalem. What I'm doing here is zooming in on the old city, which is right next to where I'm staying. The lights in the far background are on the other side of Jerusalem, uh, and there has been gunfire and explosions coming from over there on a sort of semi regular basis most of the day, or I'm sorry, since it got dark tonight. Uh, so I'm just going to leave this camera on, and you can just watch, and we'll see. You see the cars moving over there on the far side of the Jerusalem city walls. Uh, I've seen a lot of police or something, emergency vehicles over there here in the last few minutes, and I've been hearing grenades and gunfire from over there. Now, remember, East Jerusalem is populated by Arabs, and they are. I was over there the other day. I went shopping, and those Arabs that I talked to were pretty clear that they were not happy with the Jews. They're not happy with Israel, the state of Israel, or the IDF for what they're doing. So if you've been watching the uh, live broadcasting that I've been doing on Newsmax or on CBN News on the YouTube channel, tonight you'll know that the ground invasion has begun into Gaza, and they've announced it. They've cut off all communications into Gaza, and they are moving armor across the border and already engaging in firefights inside Gaza. So it's on, folks. And what a lot of these Arabs and Muslims have said is that if Israel goes in there and invades Gaza, that they will attack wherever they can here in Jerusalem or uh, elsewhere. We're already seeing fighting up on the northern border, and we're seeing uh, well, so there's quite a bit going on. Let's put it that way. Um, so I'm just going to leave this camera run. Yeah, hammer time. Yeah, kind of. Was something like LiDAR. No, LiDAR would not show tunnels. Ground penetrating radar would, but that's very limited in how deep it can go. Very limited. Um, Thank you all for watching. Joining from Ohio. Good, good, good. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect my microphone and let you hear the raw audio off the camera, because if there are any more explosions, gunfire, jets going by, or anything like that, you'll be able to hear them better on the camera microphone than you are on my microphone. And I will come back and talk from time to time, but I'm just going to let you watch this. Actually, before I do that, just so you can get some context, I want you to understand what you're looking at. Um, the wall there is the wall of the old city of Jerusalem, uh, and you're looking at the Armenian quarter, because if you look over here, just move the camera a little bit over here to the right, you can see that church and that tower are an Armenian church. Uh, it's an Armenian monastery, and right between those two towers is the upper room. That's where Jesus had the Last Supper. So we're looking at obviously an unbelievably historical place here. And let's just hope that there isn't any damage being done or anything to any of these sacred monuments. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pan around slowly. There's a big hotel right here. Whoop, I just kicked the tripod. There's a big hotel right here. It used to be the King Solomon Hotel. And when I got here, I stayed in that hotel for a few days as I was getting ready. There's a police car down there. Or no, is that a police car? Or is that, oh, those are soldiers, I think. Looks like they're going to be coming down here. Let's tilt down and see if we can see them go by. Let's see if they go by here. Right about now. Police. So that's a paddy wagon. That's a police van. Anyway, here, this hotel uh, was empty. There were only 5 guests for 156 rooms. Now it is full, and it is full of Israelis who have been forced out of their homes. They've been forced to evacuate the border regions. They say that they've evacuated something like 250,000, 250,000 people so far. And so a lot of them are in hotels here in Jerusalem and elsewhere. Uh, so that's the old train station down there. You see, it's pretty quiet. It's after 10. It's after 11 p.m. tonight. So, and it is Shabbat now, officially. So you would expect it to be pretty quiet. Although the parking lot of this hotel has been a madhouse with all the kids out here playing soccer and stuff for the last few hours while I was trying to do live broadcasting, and that's fun. Um, this is just the skyline of Jerusalem from my balcony here. You can see it's a pretty large city. I don't know how many people live in Jerusalem, but it's got to be over 1 million. Anyway, let's go back over here now to the I'm not sure what that tower out there is, but I think I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It might have something to do with Islam, perhaps. All right, so I'm just going to leave that run for a little bit, let you listen. And you listen on the camera microphone now, you'll be able to hear the ambient sound a lot better than listening through my microphone. I'll be watching for comments, and we'll try to answer your questions if you have any. Welcome, Carol. Thank you for becoming a supporter. Do I think the U.S. will take more drastic measures since the attacks in Iraq and Syria? Well, drastic in that they're going to bomb any place that they think attacked them. The crazy thing, and I wouldn't say this on a news channel, but on my channel I'll say it. The crazy thing to me is that all of this is proxy war between the United States and Iran, and so why doesn't everybody just get it over with and take out Iran, and then maybe this wouldn't keep happening? So what I think about that, Rick, is that obviously America needs to defend its interests. We can't allow our soldiers to be attacked in their bases overseas. And again, the enemy sees this as a fight against the United States. And so we should believe them, and we should treat it as such. If your enemy says that he's at war with you, then maybe it's time for you to be at war with him. Are the holy sites still open in Israel? Yes, they are. I've been there, but they're very empty because there aren't any tourists. And so, if you plan on coming to see the holy sites, actually, this would be a very good time to come because you can have them all to yourself. I went to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre the other day there in the Old City, which is one of the 2 sites that they believe could be where Jesus was crucified and buried. And I literally had the whole place to myself, other than just a couple of priests and stuff that were in there. If you go early in the morning, it opens at 5 a.m. You could be the only person in there at this point. I've been there before, and normally that place is an absolute madhouse with standing room only, shoulder to shoulder. You don't get any time to actually contemplate or anything. It's just a circus in there. But when I went, I've been there twice this trip, and both times it's just been empty, which has been pretty cool. No, the King David Hotel is not closed. Delta Love. The King David Hotel is just around the corner that way, on this street right below me. It's about one block up, and it is open. The um, governor of Kathy Hochul, or governor of some state. Oh, New York. The governor of New York was staying there the other day, and it was a madhouse, craziness. I said this hotel that I just showed you was the King Solomon Hotel. It's not closed; it was just empty. It's been renamed to the Cassia Hotel. Dale Young, you've heard correctly. Iran did make an obvious threat to attack U.S. interest in the region if Israel didn't stop what they were doing, and um, we just kind of said, "Bring it." Good luck with that. Hotel rates are pretty expensive. JP, this hotel just right here that I showed you uh, was charging me about $300 a night, and that's way too much. It's a nice hotel, and the food was great, but and that I would have almost paid 300 a night just to use the gym. It was the best hotel gym I think I've ever seen. Uh, but that's way more than we spend here at CBN. So I got an Airbnb. I'll just show you. It's a cool thing about this medium is like nothing's hidden. You guys want to see where I live? Here's my studio setup out here on the balcony. That's my room down there with the light on. It has a walkout. And there's another bedroom right there. You can see my lights. Here's the living room and the kitchen. And there's a couple of bathrooms and another bedroom in there. Uh, so there's three of us staying here, and it's $150 a night for all three of us through Airbnb. That's a pretty sweet deal, if you ask me. Um, yeah. So we'll go back over here. I just want to keep filming over here at the old city because, like I say, that lit up area right over there behind the walls, there looked like there was maybe some fighting going on over there. It sounded like it anyway, earlier. And so I would imagine we're going to see some unrest tonight, without a doubt. It's very likely that's going to happen. Okay, I'm going to be quiet for just a minute, rest my voice. No, food is not in short supply. There's nothing in short supply throughout this country that I've seen. We've been able to get pretty much anything, and the food is somewhat expensive, but it's always expensive in Jerusalem. I went out last night for a steak dinner. I didn't even mean to, but I just was the only thing that's been open for the last 3 weeks has been the pizza place. That's well, it's not lit up now. I can't show it to you, but I don't like pizza. I mean, I like it. I just shouldn't eat it. I can't afford to eat too much pizza, so I was just like, please, Lord, show me some place to eat that doesn't serve pizza. So I was walking down the street, uh, and about a block from here, I just saw this little hole in the wall, and it was in Hebrew, so I couldn't read what it was, but I saw the word chef in English, And I thought, ooh, maybe that's a restaurant. So I poked my head in down there. There was a little like underground basement, and there was a bunch of people down there eating. So I said, oh, great. So I looked around and stopped somebody walking by and said, hey, can I eat here? And they said, sit down. So I sat down, and uh, they sent a waitress over, and there was no menu. And I said, well, what do you have to eat? And she said, oh, we have many. What would you like? And I said, tell you what, just surprise me. And she said, do you want a steak? And I said, I would love a steak. I haven't had a steak in some time, and I need it. So, hey, bud, hang on just a second. I'm I'm on a live. My son just called with my granddaughter. Um, so anyway, just to finish that story, she brought the steak out. It was ginormous and it was delicious. It was like 750 grams, which is, I didn't know what that was, but it was a pretty big steak. And it was Angus. It wasn't like Wagyu beef or anything like that. It was Angus steak. It was pretty good. And I couldn't eat the whole thing, but it was excellent. And that was all I got, just that and a drink. And she brought the bill, which it's in shekels, of course, and I couldn't even read it anyway because I didn't have my glasses with me. So I just paid the bill and walked out. When I got home, I checked my credit card. $196 for that steak. I was like, holy cow. Um, yeah, I'd heard it was expensive in Israel, but I didn't know it was that expensive. 196 bucks. So I'm going to have to explain that one to my wife. Yikes. Yeah, Daddy's girl asked if there was no internet and satellite, uh, and that's true. They've blacked out all communications inside Gaza now. They are that is the signal that this is the invasion, that it's underway. Before they blacked out all communications, they could continue to call people and tell them to get out of the area. They could continue to glean signals intelligence off of the you know the calls that were made out of Gaza, but now they're done with that, and so everything went black. They cut off internet, landline phones, and cellular phones earlier today, and so it's on. They're done talking, and it's time for the fighting. They've crossed the northern border of Gaza with tanks, and they are currently engaged in battle, in heavy fighting, I'm told, in northern Gaza between IDF and Hamas. Hey, buddy. Yes, I'm just hold on. Let me just hang on a sec. Okay, folks, I'm going to leave this running for a few minutes. I got to take a phone call, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm on. I haven't heard any more since I started this live stream. plan is to go down to. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I hit the mute button. Yeah, my plan is to just head south for some figure out how to wait. I may imagine Okay, folks, I'm back. I had a couple phone calls to take. It is 11:35 at night here, and it looks like things are really quieting down. There have been just some sporadic gunfights here and there in Israel. The noise you hear is these kids down here. These are refugee kids, right down there. Those kids are refugees. Yeah, Larry Birch, I want to thank you for helping me buy my steak. We're going to need a bunch more, but that's a good start. Yeah, I had no idea the steak would be that expensive, but oh well, it was good steak. All right, let me turn the light on here, and I'm going to move this back. Okay, there we are. All right, hey folks. Get some light on here. Let's see what we're doing. Okay, we'll move this way just a little bit. We'll get that thing out of there. And let me get my microphone back on so you can hear me. Okay. Now you should be able to hear me a little bit better. How's it going? Thank you for watching. I just thought it'd be cool. Maybe some of you might like to see Jerusalem's old city and see what it looks like at night and what it looks like at night on the eve of this invasion. So things are getting kind of sporting over here, if you saw that. Let me see if, let me take a look here at what people are saying. My eyes are getting really tired tonight. 7-year peace treaty will come out of this as predicted in Scripture. That'd be interesting, Knight Rider. Yeah, they still out at this hour. Well, it's Shabbat, and last night would have been like, I guess, Friday night. Or, yeah, tonight is actually Friday night, but I mean the night before the weekend, or the first night of the weekend, whatever you want to call it. And so I went out to dinner at 10 p.m. and came back home, and there were still people out wandering around with their kids at after midnight. Speaking of which, I got to pay attention because I've got a live broadcast coming up on Newsmax here before too long. Oh, are you looking into Gaza or Israel? This is, we were looking into the Arab section of East Jerusalem. That was the old city of Jerusalem over there that we were looking at. Try some ginger tea. Yeah, tell me about it. I need to do that, or maybe some whiskey. I don't know. Feel like the rapture's coming? Maybe. I hope I don't have a noisy night. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. So tomorrow, probably about the time you all go to bed, I'm going to be getting up and driving down to Ashkelon in the south. Fortunately, Israel's not a big country, so it only takes like an hour or so to get down there, hour and a half. And I'm going to set myself up in Ashkelon, try to find a balcony like this. There are condos, and hopefully I can find an Airbnb in one of those condos that overlook Gaza. Gaza's about 5 miles away, the Gaza Strip, And so I was down there for like 4 days this week, expecting the ground invasion to start, and it didn't. And then they said they were going to delay it. And so I was like, well, I might as well go back to Jerusalem. And sure enough, I knew it. As soon as I come back to Jerusalem, they kick everything off. But that's the way it goes. So I will be doing these kinds of live broadcasts overlooking Gaza, hopefully tomorrow. And so stay tuned. I really appreciate all you guys and all your comments. How many hours do I sleep? Not enough. Okay. if I do whiskey, feel free to come on live. That'd be exciting, right? Uh, what's the largest weapon Hamas has? Now, there's a good question, 222. I really like it when people ask me thoughtful questions like that. They actually have some very large missiles that they got from Iran. They dropped them off from a container ship out in the ocean, and they have these Navy SEAL guys, the Hamas version of Navy SEALs, that are trained to swim out there and grab these floating packages of missiles and pull them into shore. That's how they get them on shore. So it's pretty crazy, but some of these they got some fairly sizable missiles. They launched a couple of them yesterday out here. Yeah. Is much open in Ashkelon? Probably about half the people have left, maybe a little more. I thought it was a lot more, but certain parts of the city are pretty empty, but other parts are open. I think a lot of the people that live in Ashkelon left, and Ashkelon is normally a tourist town, but all the tourists are gone. And some of the locals were telling me, you look out here on the beach, and there's nobody on the beach. You never see that in Ashkelon, especially this time of year. It's crazy. So is it possible that Hamas has dug tunnels right up into Israel? They keep trying, but they get found. That's one of the things that with that new high-tech fence that sort of failed miserably, it was supposed to have enabled them. They had sensors in the ground to see if they were coming underneath it. Turned out they didn't need tunnels. They just took explosives and blew holes in the fence after they disabled the cameras, and it was a massive failure of intelligence on the part of Israel, for sure. Any talk of chemical biological warfare? No. I have not heard any, Celine, I haven't heard any talk of that. Is it possible Hamas fight to say? Does Hamas have night vision? Probably not much, if they have any. Can I get a teleportation device? Nice, that'd be fun. I would definitely go for that. How do my wife and kids feel about my being in war zones? I've been doing this for more than 20 years, so they're used to it. I think we all have a little bit different sense of what's risky and what's not than maybe many of you might. And so when I spent 6 months in Ukraine last year, and my wife and my youngest daughter came with me and spent a couple months in Ukraine while we were there reporting. So I think we're a strange family. Let's put it that way. We just our motto is safety third. Ehud Barak was positioned as a return to power. I don't know anything about that. I'm not sure. People chant free Palestine. Yeah, free Palestine from Hamas. That'd be nice. How much did I pay for this bottle of water? I have no idea, because it's in shekels, and I just beat my credit card and keep running. I don't have time to worry about stuff like that. Paw Paw, West Virginia, really? All right. That's not a large place, but I've been there. Yeah, why didn't Mossad see this coming? That's the question a lot of people are asking, Celine. A lot of people are asking that question. Apparently there were some warnings, but they overlooked them. It's kind of a Pearl Harbor type thing. Oh yeah, lots of Palestinians have been captured and not killed, even some of the terrorists, and they have posted the interrogations of those guys and what they said. Um, and they said we were told specifically to go in there and to kill and rape children and terrorize them as much as possible. Have I seen or heard of any miracles since being there? Uh, it, I think I see miracles every day and probably don't notice. Uh, I mean, I think that when we get to heaven, we'll find that there were thousands of miracles that affected our lives. We just took for granted, didn't even notice it. I should write a sitcom based on my life. Yeah, except there's not enough security to protect me from my wife. They wanted to make somebody wanted to make a TV show out of my life because I go to 25 hot zones a year, and it was they came out to do like a teaser at my house. I spent one day filming at my house. My wife was like, "Nope, that is not happening." My wife's an introvert. She did not want that. What will Israel do with all the captured terrorists? It's a real good question. It's a good chance that they might end up being traded for hostages. That's a possibility. One of the reasons that Hamas took all those hostages is because Israel has like 6,000 Palestinian people in jail, and they wanted to have some bargaining chips. Thank you for praying for me, Christina Allen. Please pray for my voice because I'm just talking nonstop all day and I'm just losing my voice here. Do I think Hamas will try to hijack or rob UN supplies sent to the Gazans? They already have. That's absolutely, they already have. I could write a bestseller. I have written a bestseller, several. I have 10 books in print and 2 more on the way. And you can go find them. Just Google my name. You'll find out way more about me than you ever wanted to know, for sure. And you can see, how's my documentary coming along? I am working on a documentary about this village up in the mountains of Armenia, and we've got it shot, but that's all. So it's going to have to be, it's going to have to be put on the back burner at least for a little while. I was hoping to finish it by the end of this year, but because of this, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Okay, a couple more minutes. I won't go to the Mall of America at all, Celine. I would not go to the Mall of America either. Ginger tea with whiskey. I know you're talking. Have they located any more hostages? They have not announced anything like that. But they also have found that there were more hostages than they thought. And so the number of hostages keeps going up, even though they've released 4 people. They keep finding out that there are even more. So now I think the latest count I saw was 224 hostages. But it's going to be very difficult for them to rescue those hostages in Gaza. I'm telling you, it's going to be hard. There probably will be some that get rescued, but if you have not seen my documentary Armenia: A Love Story, I highly recommend it. It's won almost a dozen awards now, and it came out in June, and it's still going strong. Even if you don't know anything about Armenia, even if you couldn't find Armenia on a map, you should go watch this movie because it's just a great love story. It'll teach you a lot about why Armenia is a big deal. If you support Israel because you're commanded to support Israel, I think for the same reasons you ought to support Armenia. Armenia is the world's first Christian country, and they are in a situation very similar to what Israel is facing. There's a terrorist country on their border that wants to wipe them off the face of the earth, and the only difference is they do not have a strong military, and they do not have the backing of the United States or anybody else for that matter. And so they're a tiny little country of 2 million people that literally could be about to be wiped out the world's first Christian country since 301 AD. So it's worth going and learning something about it. The Log 74, you did get to see it and you liked it. I highly recommend it. You can go to armeniamovie.com and watch the movie. You can, I think there's a way to watch it on Vimeo, but I'm not sure. It made you cry. Good. It should. It should. Made me cry. I was there. Do I think there's a lot of sleeper cells in the U.S.? Absolutely. I've been reporting on the southern border and on the migration crisis for many years, and I promise you, many of the people who are coming in are bad actors. Many of them are perfectly fine people just looking for a job. That does not qualify them for asylum. They shouldn't be there. But many people are coming in with those people who are very bad people, and it's a matter of when, not if, we have an attack in the United States. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Alexei74. Yeah, he's actually going to the States tomorrow, and his wife is pregnant now, and so we're going to have another grandbaby in March, which is fantastic. We are very excited about that. That will be our third grandbaby, and we got another one on the way from my oldest daughter as well. So I got two grandbabies that are walking around, and one took her first steps today, and the other two are still in the cooker, and they'll be here, God willing, early next year. So, hey, God bless you all. I've got another live hit on Newsmax coming up. I don't think in a little bit. I got a couple of things I got to do. I got to go pack up and get ready to leave tomorrow and go down to South. So keep watching, keep listening. Thank you very much. God bless you all, and we'll see you later. I'm Chuck Holton.